What's up? I just gonna get started. So I'm gonna be working on the redesign to my personal site, and I'm wanting to crank through this and maybe finish out the landing page here in a second. So do I have it running? Run dev. I can also pull up the Figma file. So you can go to jamesqquick.com and see what's there. Also, see what's there now, and then we'll take in the redesign here, and we're mainly working on the home page. So this part here, and I've got a lot of this, or I've got a decent amount of this done. So we'll just continue to make progress on that. Did that move anything? Babek, hi, welcome. Thanks for being here. So let's see what we have. Hello, hello. Is your username just Dot? That's interesting. Welcome, Dot. Christoph, welcome back. Thanks for being here. I need to do something interesting on this for load that image like loaded in really poorly. But I've got the nav bar, which is good. It's not mobile friendly yet, so the nav bar, if I shrink down, isn't perfect. This part isn't perfect either. So if I shrink down, there's still some room to improvement. Although I feel like it's pretty good. That gets odd, so like that screen size is going to have to be updated. But for the most part, we can just kind of focus on this for now. And so I already have one of these, and then I need to do these others. So the learn, build, teach, and um, dot enough isn't it? So I may not be I may actually not be able to see your username. The reason is I'm viewing this inside of StreamYard. So if it's something that I can't see, that may just unfortunately be the case. But let me see if I can put this up. Yeah, anyway, I can't see. I don't really know how to gauge what your username is. But anyway, thanks for being here. So I've got the compressed one up here. I think I want to create this as a reusable component. The other thing I want to do is update the button component. So I've got a button component with just basic fill in here. I want to update this to be link as well. So I want to have like an is link property that is false by default, and then add in conditions in here to say like if it's a link, return an actual anchor tag. If it's not, return an actual button. I don't know how to do. You do like an if condition in Astro markup or Astro component for rendering? Does it give you component structure, component script? Okay, so you can just use JSX or not JSX, but like JSX like syntax. So we should be able to say like if not is link, return not is link, and that work. And the formatting is off, which is gross. And then I don't know if this is the best way to do this either, but whatever. Is link and I don't know a better way to do this, but basically want to take this whole thing and change this into an anchor tag. We'll have an href, which will come from here. Href, href, like that. And we don't need the on-click handler. And then the classes should be the same, which we could even do something like this. So we could just put this in a string and have classes, a string here. Don't know if this is necessarily the best way to do this, but it can be done. So we'll say classes. I'll make that a little bit smaller. Astro, this makes my heart happy. Good, Mark. Yeah, I'm really enjoying Astro. So there's our button component. Let's go back to the YouTube call out, which I'm going to make this into a generic component here in a second. Inside of here, it uses it uses a link. Let's see. Oh, the YouTube one, but I actually want to go back to the compressed one. So that's what we'll make more generic in a second. But this is referencing our button, and this actually should be an anchor tag. So what was the property we called it to be anchor? Or is link? Is link? Does that in Astro, can we use that? Just set that property is link. Does that automatically set it to true? I'm not sure if you have to manually actually set it to the value true or not. But we'll do that, and then we'll say the href equals z compress is the shortcut for the website. Cool. So this should now be an anchor tag. Cool. If I go to listen, it should. I don't know why that took so long, but then the other thing I always forget, like how to make an anchor tag, open and new tab. I always forget the two things that you're supposed to do for this, and I always have to go and look it up. So there's this part. So rel, no opener, no refer, and then target blank. So let's go back to our button. Let's add this here. And then if we come back and click on this, it should open up in a new tab, which is good. Cool. So let's do yeah, Christian, thanks. I appreciate that. And Christoph, yeah, thank you for sharing that. Did I do a generic call out component? I think I didn't. Compress call out. So let's do logo card, heading, your body, logo. Yeah, this is what I started to do. So let's actually replace. So this is a logo card. I want to rename this to call out. So this should be the generic one. So what I want to do is grab the compressed call out. I'm just going to copy and paste this component over. And we need to get these properties coming in. So we'll say const, and then we'll destructure these properties. They're going to come from astro.props. And then we'll have the heading, the body, the link, and the alt. And then alt is being used down here. Source, the link, we should actually use in the href down here. So do our link. This should just be the logo, alt. We don't need handler here. And then we want to make sure we get the logo from here. All right, so those are all the properties that we'll need. We can get rid of all these being hard coded. Get rid of compressed logo, get rid of link. That from Astro link. So do the button link that we'll use. And that should be okay. So that should be a relatively speaking general component that works with one image. And so let's go back to let's go to the compressed callout. Let's copy this data. And then let's go to the index and let's add in this data. Let's use the logo. Rats, that hadn't been updated. Oh, did I not? Logo card. I thought I updated this. Rename to logo call out. Huh, that didn't work. Did y'all see that? That like didn't do anything. Logo call out. Cool. And let's go and grab the logo call out. And let's pass in the data inside of here. So heading is there. Body is here. We'll have the link there. We'll have the alt to like this. What logo heading? Body. I'll need two of those. Compressed FM. There we go. Okay, so that should be relatively good. Although it's still showing something. Alt equals, yeah, thanks. All the typos. Thanks everyone. We just had a session internally in the Discord for people as well, which was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed it. And lots of people were catching issues for me. So compress logo and source is required. Astro image source is required. Go back to our logo call out. We're getting the logo. We log that out. Okay, so maybe it's just logo.source then, if we do it that way. Does that work? Cool. That worked. That's cool. So now we should be able to get rid of that one. That'll be okay. Then we will do another logo call out that will replace the learn, build, teach call out. Can I not open this? Oh, so logo call out, this one. I'm going to try to go ahead and format all this stuff in the way that I want. So I'm going to get rid of this stuff, get rid of this space, take these strings, and then I should be able to pass this whole thing. Actually, get rid of these, and then I want to copy this whole string and just throw it into here. Learn, build, teach, call out. Cool. And then get the LBT logo. Moving kind of fast, so if people have questions, throw them in the chat and let me know. But I'll pass in the logo here to the LBT logo. I'm going to get rid of everything here. I'm not going to reference that thing anymore. Oh, this should be that instead. Cool. And then do I get LBT logo? Cool. That I am happy that that seems to be working correctly. Yay. Cool. So that'll work. And then I can go into learn, build, teach, call out. I can actually delete that file because I don't need it. And I can go to the compressed call out and I can delete that file because I don't need it. And then I can change this one to logo call out. Let's go to the YouTube call out. Let's grab all the information here. I'm going to do multiple cursor tricks again. Do this, get rid of spaces, go all the way to the end, which doesn't work on that middle one, annoyingly. But I can do this here and add a space. And then let's add this stuff and this stuff. Delete that component. Let's go into the logo call out here. Let's paste in that info. Let's go and import the YouTube icon, which now I'm kind of mixing things. So I'm mixing in here the YouTube icon. This is an Astro component. But instead of that, I'm going to pull this from Diamond Boy on Twitch. What's up? Thanks for stopping by and checking things out. Also, let me know how many people have used Astro before, and if you're new. And again, if you have comments, questions, throw them in the chat so I can help answer those for you. Let's get rid of these things that we don't need anymore. Using Astro. Oh, Diamond Boy, you're using Astro on your personal site as well. Diamond Boy is, all right. Is it actually Diamond Boy? I think that's right. DMD Boy. Is it meant to be diamond? I'm assuming that, but I actually don't know that for sure, I think. Anyway, if you have a link to your site, feel free to put it in the chat and I'll pull it up for everybody to see. So Naka on YouTube says never use Astro. Cool. It's really nice for what it does, especially if you have kind of a basic-ish site and you're using Markdown or MDX and want code highlighting, that sort of stuff. Christoph tried it a few months ago, but didn't dive deep. Soon, hope. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I love it. So if you're ever looking for somebody to comment on it and tell you how much they love it, just understand that I love it. Cool. So I am gonna pull this in from images slash socials, and then this will be youtube.svg, the right spot. Gallery properties of undefined for YouTube icon. So is this going images and then socials, then youtube.svg? Does it support TypeScript? If so, what are the extensions of the file? Um, yes, it supports TypeScript. I'll actually show you in a second how to define types in your Astro component. So I'll show you that in a second because that's one of the things I wanted to do. Diamond Boy on Twitch is saying he does use MDX, just static render post from an API. It's totally fair. I ended up adding MDX for something specific for myself that I could show you in a second if you want. Mark is saying it's line 25. Did I pass in? No, for YouTube, I did not pass that in. So logo equals YouTube on like that. And then maybe still does not work. Source compress. So it works for the other two, I think. Mark is saying it's on line 25. So we have the LBT logo. Image.source is required. It says, yeah, I'm wondering why it's not coming from. Let's log out the YouTube icon. Oh, interesting. I don't really know why. Why are these import? I think I've been kind of mixing my imports for these, and I'm not really sure why there's a different one. So, because these are basically importing in the same way. One of them is logging out just as a string. Another is logging out as an object. I'm not sure why those import differently. Anybody have any idea with that? So like one, Sebastian Astro is better than React View Svelte. Not a direct comparison. It's actually interesting. You can use React View Svelte inside of Astro, which is really neat. Astro is just really focused on minimal JavaScript, basically, that gets sent to the browser. So by default, it doesn't send any JavaScript to the browser, which is really neat. So when we import, I wonder if it's because it's an SVG versus a different image file. Vue and Astro is the best combination. Yeah, being able to use the framework of your choice inside of Astro is really, really neat. Sanath, what's your opinion on what's your option? I assume you mean opinion on QuickJS. Cool branding and name, obviously. I haven't actually used it myself, so I really don't know much about it. But I've heard really good things. Yeah, Sebastian, the error is it's kind of interesting because I'm importing these logos, and I should actually like rename this to YouTube logo to make it match. So I'm importing these logos in the exact same way, but what it returns to me is two different things. So when I import YouTube, it logs out just the path, and when I log out the LBT logo or the compressed logo, it's actually pulling in an image. So I'm not sure if it just doesn't know by default how to read in an SVG. Import image, Astro. Let's take a look. Astro image. Does this show an import in here? Import image. So where do you actually get the image itself? Show me an example. Dum, 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 dum. Get image source. Oh, this is interesting. Help used directly from our copy. Hmm. SVG is an HTML tag at the end. That is true. So maybe it's just an issue with that. So maybe one of the things that we can do is how did I get onto this? I don't want that. Go away. I don't know what that is. There's an SVG thing in the config. Which config, Christian, are you talking about? But I think the one thing I will do is just upload this thing and the logo call out to have the logo source. So pass in the source directly, and then we'll just pass in that there. Yes. And then inside of our index page, we can decide how we're going to turn that path in. So in this case, for YouTube, it'll just be YouTube logo. For LBT logo, it'll be LBT logo dot source, and then this one will be dot source. And that should um, take care of it. The logo is not defined here. Logo source, not logo. So let's get rid of this, and now let's update each one of these to be logo source. Hopefully that'll do it. I'm actually gonna not use this one, as you can probably tell, not looking the best here. It also doesn't have the white background, so we'll fix that in a second. And then we also want to change the button text. So on the logo call out, we'll have this be button text, and then we'll pass this in as a property, button text. And then we will need to add this in here. So button text equals, this will be listen. And then we will have on YouTube just something short for watch. And then for here, this is join us, maybe. Vaibhav, could you please make more videos on TypeScript? Anything specific that you want to see in relation to TypeScript? Definitely plan on TypeScript is kind of my default. So anything that I do from now on most likely involves TypeScript. But if there's specific concepts that you want to see in TypeScript, that would be good to know. So feel free to add ideas for that. So this should have listen, it should have watch, and the links are appropriate. So that's cool. Now, obviously, I'll need some spacing out of this. So we can do like a flex call, and then gap in to space those out. Did y'all get that with what all just happened there? I may actually space these out even more too. So we can define this container as a flex box. We can then say flex column, which means stack things on top of each other, and then we add a gap property, which adds gap between each one, which is really nice to be able to do. So that's like it's kind of a lot of this, really. That's a big portion of this homepage is getting those things. Diamond Boy, what's interesting in Astro is Astro has made me think about how to write things in Vanilla JS. Yesterday, I converted a few components to Vanilla JS. That's interesting that you say that because I just did on the hero. I added some vanilla JavaScript as well. So, what's cool is Astro is just sending down by default just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which means you can add a script tag inside of here. And I did that, and I'm actually like referencing elements by query selector and stuff and updating it. It's for the typewriter effect. So basically the JavaScript to be able to swap out the words that show up on here. And then the typewriter effect is in CSS. So they just happen to like change the word at the exact same time that the animation wears out, which could at some point actually be a problem because you can't necessarily guarantee with a set interval, even though I say this should run every 6 seconds, because of the way JavaScript works, you're not actually guaranteed that this thing will run every seconds if you have something blocking. So there's the chance that these could get out of sync with each other. But for now, probably it's going to work. Vabav, if you have a pronunciation, feel free to add that in the chat as well. According to your knowledge for a beginner in TypeScript, yeah, I could do some beginner stuff in channel or in channel. I read another message and I read the next message and then confused words. So yeah, I could do that beginner stuff in TypeScript. Good idea. Sebastian, ¿cuándo voy a crear un canal en español on YouTube para los desarrolladores, developers? Don't worry about pronunciation mistakes. We're gonna help you. I like am probably less worried about the mistakes. Like I kind of like that idea of speaking in Spanish. I love it. I have a ton of fun. And Diamond Boy, great comment. The biggest problem is the time it takes to do that. So for me to do, I barely have enough time to do all the things in English that I would like to do, much less do things in Spanish. But I do enjoy it. So I'm happy to be able to speak some while I'm on stream. So very with the R's, yeah. Yeah, muchas gracias. Let's see. Is Tailwind actually worth it? Question from Alter. I kind of want to do a video on this because of this has been a hot topic. Tailwind is absolutely worth it if it's what you want to use. Like I understand people that don't want to use it, and that's totally fine. And there's reasons for that. And I totally understand people like myself that do, because I think that makes sense too. And I think at the end of the day, like the easy kind of cop out answer is like if it works for you, that's all that really matters. So it works for me. I really enjoy Tailwind. It's much easier for me than it is to write all the CSS myself. So another question: are you using Bootstrap instead a stuck CSS? I'm not sure what that means, but I am not using Bootstrap. I'm using specifically Tailwind, which I really enjoy. So, Marlon, love your videos. Greetings from Brazil. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for being here. Christoph, can you use server-side rendering for a specific island? I don't know the answer to that question. My guess is no, but I don't fully know the answer. Something like Remix has better support for that. But I don't know about that in regular Astro. That'd be a great question. Tech Gadget joining on Switch. What's up, Tech? Gonna try to update to 2.0. I'm not, but Astro just launched 2.0 today, which is a pretty big deal. So I highly recommend people go and check that out. So here's that. I will do a stream and or some content on that in the near future. I just want to make sure that I get done with this minimal launch first. Make sure I have that done. So which extension allows to show the mini robot on the left? Diego, great question. This is from the Houston, which is kind of the mascot for Astro. So if you're inside of an Astro project, you can get this here, which is fun. Have you tried vanilla extract CSS? Brian, I don't know if that's a joke or not. It sounds like one, but it also sounds like it could very easily be a real thing. So no, I've never tried vanilla extract CSS, if that's true. Alter Major, you prefer CSS over Tailwind, I think is what you're saying. Perfectly fine. It's all about whatever works for you. Christian, could you please make a video about Astro as PWA and send push notifications from Netlify functions? I'll have to take a look at that in the next few days. That's an interesting thing. I wonder, push notifications, like you'd probably want to get another service for. You could send text messages through something like Twilio or Vonage if you wanted to, so you could set that up. Usually push notifications specifically are more involved than just sending a text, because I don't actually know exactly how those work, but there's some sort of registering you have to do to be able to use those, and I've never done it, but I know you can get services like Pusher or something like that to do that. So yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Cool. Yeah. I think I'm kind of caught up on the chat. So Yeah, so I threw in a little bit of vanilla JavaScript inside of here, which is I thought pretty neat. So it just rotates through these words. So I think I put a link to the chat with 2.0, which has got some really cool stuff. Again, I'll have some content on this in the near future. On the alter question on the stripe gradient in the hero section thing, any idea how to create that in mine or on my website or somewhere else? But that actually reminds me that I need to add the gradient to this overall page, which is inside of here. And I actually know like very little to almost none about gradients. So one of the things that I can do is go into the root or global CSS, and I'm just going to grab HTML and then add on the is it just background? Background? Is that how you set a gradient? I've like almost never used. Hmm, that's interesting. Oh, the stripe gradient on the Stripe website. I know like almost embarrassingly almost nothing about gradients, which seems so this thing up here, I don't know. And that animation is really cool as well. Yeah, that's like I just almost know nothing about gradients, which is why you see me kind of like not really knowing the best way to apply this here. I don't know if that's actually is that like I can't tell if that's actually doing anything behind the scenes other than now it is for some reason sitting on top of background image instead of background. See, I've never actually done this. Feel silly. Background image. I can't tell if that's doing anything. Have to leave. Christoph, thanks for joining and for being in the stream and Discord earlier. People that are interested, we're starting to do like live coding exclusive streams inside of Discord if you're interested. So the Learn Build Teach website should be in the chat if you're interested in joining. Kelvin, what's up? Kelvin was on my live stream yesterday, which is a ton of fun talking about Treble and JavaScript and that sort of stuff. So still working on the site. That's right. Um, so background image, I'm not like I'm really not sure. I'm not sure why it ends up adding that. I feel like that actually made a difference. Body, background, C sharp, Twitch. What's the channel? What channel do you mean? Question on Twitch. Not sure which channel you're asking about. If you clarify, I'll try to get you an answer. Alter, are you using colors? What do you mean by colors? Like in the gradient? So these two colors? I have no idea what these things mean either. This is where I want to get I probably should get Amy on here to actually go through this with me. Um I said it, please do share the color for us. Share the color. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure what colors you're asking about. But Smart07 is asking, what would you recommend to build a portfolio? Svelte or Astro and Svelte, Svelte Kit or Astro and Svelte. I mean, it depends on what you need, but I like really it doesn't matter. Like whatever, if you have experience with one versus the other, like do that and just have fun with it. So C sharp Twitch. Oh, so I was mentioning the Learn Build Teach Discord. So there's the website to Learn Build Teach if you're interested. Try removing your 50% and just do the hex. So this whole thing. Let me look at what it looks like first and then do this. I don't know what that did. I'm actually going to comment this out because I need to check in with Amy on this because one thing that is interesting is you saw that like background change, which is different than the color on the nav bar, which then gets interesting. Because then that has a different contrast than it may supposed to. Anyway, um, so I think I'll have Amy come on and we'll talk through like she can talk me through like the gradient stuff and minor details and things that I'm missing. Someone commented on the typewriter effect being slow. I don't really know. I've gotten several suggestions from people on things that I could do for that. So it's like it's good enough for me for now, and then I'll probably come back and tweak this more later on. All right, so we got also need to fix this YouTube thing. So we'll come back to that. And then inside of the design, forget exactly how she did this. Oh, we've got the newsletter call out done here too. So let's go and add that. So newsletter page. We also should create a newsletter component. Newsletter dot Astro, and then probably we'll copy a lot of this over. Please subtitles in English. I'm not sure how to get live subtitles, unfortunately. I'm not sure how that would work. YouTube may have that built in. I'm not sure. It should have them in the after recording, I believe. I think it automatically generates those. So that maybe that would be helpful. I'm not sure. All right. So I need to actually fill this in with real information. But I wonder I don't think that's possible. Yeah, I'm not sure. I wonder, I'm thinking about where I guess the title of the newsletter is not necessarily like this H1 part does not need to be part of like the newsletter component. Um so we can have that be a separate thing and then have this part just be wrapped in together. Um oh, alter major, what is Astro? Astro is ooh, that is not what I meant to do. Astro is a framework for building applications that does not ship. It ships zero JavaScript by default. So it's really geared towards like static content for the most part, and then it can do some other things. But the big thing is the focus on static content. So cool. So in this newsletter, I'm going to have a form in this component. I don't know if I'm going to use action yet or not. I can't remember how I handled this inside of here. Probably. Oh, I have the Podia newsletter component. I already have this. Wow. So let's actually go back to here and delete. I'm actually going to rename this the Podia newsletter. I'm going to rename this to just newsletter. And this update in here did not. Does that work? Yeah. Because I'm from Brazil, user subtitles English to studying English yet. Yeah, that would be useful. Unfortunately, I don't have subtitles right now. So if you have questions on things that I can clarify, please let me know. Video vibes, look into your extensions for Astro and you will see a VS Code extension, Astro snippets. Am I allowed to send links? You are absolutely allowed to send links. So feel free to go ahead. Astro snippets. What sort of are there specific snippets in here that you think I should have that I don't? Is this the one from Shelton Lewis? These are cool. Yeah, if you have favorites, let me know what you like there. And I'm gonna simplify this a bit and call this something like that. Um, Names queue quick. And then inside of the index page, I'm gonna do something similar. I probably actually don't need to pass this newsletter. And maybe I can, so I can have different ones. I guess it also then made sense to have this be Podia newsletter, maybe. Newsletter page. Maybe it does. Oh, I didn't even rename this thing, so I ended up changing that for no reason. Podia. I had that happen earlier. My rename functionality is not working, which is no good. Okay, let's go. Do you want to see a reaction video of what I like in the 2.0 release? Yeah, I'd love to watch that. Feel free to share that with me later. I'm gonna move these things inside of a div. So all the callouts, I'm gonna move into one div by themselves. Have that have the spacing for flex. And then I'm going to go beyond that and now import the Podia newsletter. And I need to grab the ID like this. And then I'll grab a header up there as well. So paste in the ID. Then I'll have each two in this case. Something like that. Cool. So obviously have some work to do here. Think you need to install some sort of Astro IntelliSense to make rename work? Oh, really? Interesting. Um, wow, I didn't know. So I've got like the basic Astro plugin installed. Interesting if I have to do a bigger thing. So yeah. Guillaume, bonjour, bienvenue, welcome. My ability to speak very minimal French. I can believe how quickly the extension was ignored. Video vibes, what do you mean? You can't believe that I ignored it? Just curious if you have specific things that you use that you think would be valuable for me. Yeah. Let me know if you have favorite specific features. Video vibes, is this your extension? Is that what you're saying? You can try to remember most of these, but before reading the full snippets made for you. Are you Shelton Lewis? I'm watching it go through now. Astro component. I'll install. Installed. Cool. All right. So this needs to get bumped down. So let's add MB40 maybe to really spread that out. So we got our 3 call outs. Then we have my weekly newsletter. And let's see what this looks like in design. So this is even smaller. So this newsletter component is even smaller. So let's do class, and then we'll say max width for XL. Did that work? Probably it worked. And then we also want a MX auto to center that stuff. Cool. So that centered that. The other thing, actually, instead of placing it there, we can place it on the wrapper around the newsletter. So not there. Oops. But on the index page, add a wrapper around this. Oops. And that should now go together. Cool. And then we will move this text to text center. And this is bold and 57. So this make it do like an even. I have to make that text smaller when we get lower, but that'll work. And then margin bottom of 10, for example. probably bigger. Cool. Our weekly newsletter, and then a little smaller text. And let's see on the logo call out, we did text large, tracking wide. I probably want to apply those things somewhere. I'm gonna copy this text. Probably gonna update this at some point. But that should actually be closer, not 40. This one should be closer. I learned that I need better gifts. No, I just didn't. I didn't know if I would have known that was yours. I would have looked more. I just came here for a break from tic tac toe and React Docs. Robert, how's it going? Are you new to React? Is that like something that you're using as a learning opportunity to go through those tutorials? That sounds like fun, by the way. Let's see. So that's got a pretty big bottom here. So move that out, and then this is left justified versus mine is not. So let's do left justified. I want to like have that be a second line or something. We could also even bring this in a little bit closer. Just starting the docs. Cool. What Robert, what's your background like um outside of React? What sort of experience do you have? All right, so let's go into the Podia newsletter, and we're gonna have the label. I don't even have a label. That's terrible. We'll have our label. This will be for email. The label will be email address. Email. Is that second one capital? Yep. And then this will be like text 4XL maybe? 4XL, text bold. Looked pretty big. Maybe a 2XL, or maybe even less. XL. That's not coming through as bold, right? Is I think it's font bold instead of text bold. That's the one biggest difficulty for me with Tailwind is memorizing what is what. The what the classes are. Like sometimes I know what I want to do and I just forget what it is. I'm gonna do border one. I think this is kind of square, right? And then BG transparent. All right. I also am going to make email address block. So that goes down to its own line. And I'm going to have a placeholder, me at jamesqquick.com. Get how border works. There we go, border. And then we have PY4, maybe PX10, something like that. So different padding in different direction. And actually, I want this to take up, I want these two to be in a flex box with the button and the input. I don't know why. I'm not getting my formatting a lot of the times, which is really annoying. I don't know why I'm not getting automatic formatting sometime. Gooseman, what's up? Welcome, welcome. Robert had a career gap of 11 years caring for wife and kids. Time to get into development. Like it feels it's time to get serious, get some certificates and a job, hopefully. That's awesome. Well, that's exciting. If there's things that I could potentially help with, please let me know. Robert, if you have haven't already, I run a Discord community that is a great place to kind of share your journey and ask questions and that sort of stuff. So if you're interested in learning and being a part of that, please join us at learnbuildteach.com. And Palpatine, what's up? Going through working on my site. That's what I'm doing. Probably for another 20 minutes or so, and then I'm going to get food because I haven't eaten in a while. We actually just did an internal stream inside of the Discord, which was fun. So Jacob Stordahl, what's up? Hanging out in the chat. Thanks everyone for hanging out. This is fun. I enjoy this. Okay, so I want to do so since this is Flexbox, I want the input to take up basically as much space as it can. And so I think I can do a grow and just have that kind of push this thing. See how that pushed the subscribe over there. And the other thing I want to have in here is a gap of 10 maybe to kind of separate those. Something like that. Could be a little bit smaller. And then count me in, use that. And then this is just green text. So it could be text brand and white. We'll get rid of that. You don't need a width. You get rid of that. We could probably bump this text up a little bit to text XL at least. Is this centered? Yes, it is. And it's bold. So we can do text or font bold. Gonna migrate to Astro V2 already. I need to do some content on that. So I'm not right this second, but I absolutely will. I'm super excited about Astro 2.0. I just want to get this version of the site shipped first. Christian, border 1 doesn't exist in Tailwind. Border is a border width of 1 pixel. So I guess you do like border and then you do border 2, or can you just use border 2? I can never quite remember how that works. So okay, so you're saying I don't need this. That should look the same. If I did border 2, that does okay, so then it's just the number. So border 4 a little bit thicker, etc. So there's a border 2. Uh, Use a little bit of padding underneath the label or margin. So maybe MB2, something a little bit small. The PX can actually be pretty small in the padding in here. So I can go like pretty close up to right over there. That looks good. And I wonder what the will this tell me? Oh, it will tell me. Uh, dun 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 dun. Is that right? Well, if I love that. What was the other option it gave me? Are they saying this? It wouldn't be right, would it? No. And it also had brackets, but that's not how. I guess. Oh, I guess. Oh, they were saying just like kind of bracket interpolation. Anyway, that's not exactly the arrow icon. So I need to get. I could also just export this. Oops, not that. I don't know if I need to or not. I'll probably come back to that. Those are some of the small details that Amy can help me out with too. I'm also thinking this can be a little bit smaller based on the design. So is 2XL going to be too small? A weekly newsletter. Also, I think we've got too much space down here. So this could be 12 maybe. Or use Astro icons. Maybe not for just one. Ooh, I didn't know there was an Astro icons. That's cool. I have to figure out what the hover effect on this is. So we'll figure that out. Weekly newsletter filled with all tools. Okay, so what I actually have a hard time doing this. So what do I want to communicate to people is in my newsletter? It's a great question. I know, right? Weekly newsletter filled with personal updates, recent content, and general web development announcements, something like that. I kind of want it to sound cooler because that doesn't sound super cool, but it is what it is. So inside of her design, oh, she does have kind of the border bottom here. Okay, so in the in so there's the hero, and then I need to add, I guess, um, sorry, I'm kind of scrolling all over the place. I guess I need to actually put that up there, move this down here. Still gonna be centered. Some people will provide a sample newsletter. That's a good idea. That's interesting. Where would they add that? Like where do you have like a link to say like, hey, if you want to see a sample, here's a link to go to that page? That'd be interesting. That's a good idea. If I have a divider, I would have a div with a class of H2 block, or it doesn't need block. BG white. Would that do a divider basically? Yeah, enough. Is that kind of what I have up here? So I don't have BG white necessarily. I have maybe like gray 100, and they can do this as an H1 and an um, MY10, maybe something like that. Essentially, subscription based newsletter publishers. Yeah, that makes sense. Content to inspire you to learn. Yeah, that's a good idea, Gooseman, because I actually share a lot of content from specifically the community here. So, weekly newsletter filled with personal updates, recent content, and general web development announcements to inspire you to learn, build, and teach. Probably come back and kind of spruce that up a little bit later on too. Shalaxathor, I haven't seen your name in forever on what's up, legend? On Twitch. What's up? Welcome. Thanks for being here. Always a good time to see you in the chat. What is letting? Line height. So can I make that bigger? Did that work? I don't think that did. Letting. I don't think letting is doing tailwind letting. Maybe I need to do like bigger numbers. Tight, relax, loose. 8 and 10. Text XL. So when you do text XL, that also does the letting, working and stressing as usual, but it's going somehow. Well, I'm glad to hear that it's going. Hopefully the stressing part is either not too bad or like optimistically has a chance to get better in the near future. Oh, that did not go the way I wanted. Sometimes I was like start to raise my desk and it like goes up and then just goes right back down, which is very odd. Really annoying. The one thing I don't have in here, I don't think I have any feedback to say. Do I have that to say like thanks for subscribing? Which I should at some point. It makes a oh, so this actually does. I forget. Okay, so this actually does a submit to the server. Drop table. What does this actually do? Let me. Oh, this actually. Ooh, I don't love that. Mm, I don't love that it redirects over there. I think I'll hopefully find something better than that soon. Astro. Okay, I feel like I need to check out this Astro icon. Can you do it with Astro add? All right, I say we try it out. So npm install Astro icon. How do we use it? Pick an icon from. Let's go into here. Oh, somebody asked about TypeScript earlier, and I forgot to address that. So let's import the icon. Let's run this again, and then we just kind of like define it based on the icon here. So this is the name account, which I assume is like the name of an icon. So if I come back over here, okay, not what I need right there. I need this also to be in line. Will this give me a telesense by any chance? Neat. No. Arrow? Actually kind of interesting. Does it have a list of all the icons? Also, pack is M, material design icons. Okay. Reference SVG sprite sheet. Okay. Local icons. Custom local SVG. They're optimized. SVGO automatically with no extra build step. Interesting. I don't know what exactly that gives us. Local icon packs. This is kind of interesting if people have additional things that they want to share. All these icons and then click on the icon. See the props. So where do we actually see powered by Iconify to browse supported icons? Check the okay. So can I just search arrow? And what is this one called? Does this have a name? Is this the whole name? Or maybe it's arrow back rounded? Maybe? Oops, that looks like it didn't do something. Not found in MDI. Material symbols. Anyway, do you know how to differentiate Google material? What is MDI? Baseline arrow forward. Love how we import icons now using JSTS. A lot of them are weird though. Yeah. Then click on. Oh, what did Christian? I'm looking for. What link did you send? I don't see a link in the chat. If you have a link that I should, if you have a link you want me to check out, can you send it again? Because I don't see it. Thor is around lurking meetings. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm probably only going to go for a few more minutes because, like I said, I need to get food. But really appreciate you popping in. I don't know how to change the other thing. Is let's go back. If it's to browse supported icon pack supported by MDI account. Oh, so you can actually use that whole thing. Oh, so maybe I can go. Oops, that's all right. Maybe I can go like this and say, hey, give me this one, whatever, and use this whole thing. That'll tell it where to get it from. So then take out the pack. This pack, not found, pack material symbols. I wonder if do you have to install that? Material symbols, material symbols. Yeah, Astro icons. Icons made easy. Okay, not super helpful. Got to go to the GitHub docs. Oh, Christian sent me a link here. This one. Oh. Okay, so this is searching through stuff and on here. But found some of the packs didn't work, but MDI was usually a good pack. So what is MDI in here? material design icons. That's what you're saying. So if I then come and grab one of these, you're saying do this, and I actually can't remember which way I want this pointing, so that's okay. We'll start with that. So, well, that yes, but I want this to be how. Nope. What is going on here? Why? Any idea why? I don't actually know why this icon now will go down to the next page or next line. SVG display. Did I already try this? It's probably a size prop. Oh, like maybe it's just wrapping because it didn't have enough size. Can I cheat and maybe not? Okay. Let's see if there is. You can style it using the Astro icon selector. Fair enough. Um, oh, let's see if we can just do like height 10 pixels, width 10 pixels, display and line. There we go. Okay. So it is a size thing. Thank you. So inside of here, we want to add inline like this, and then we can do height 10, width 10, something like that, maybe. Cool. So I think that's pretty close. Still don't love, like, I need another animation here, so I'll figure that out. But I think that works. This still feels tight to me. I want the line height to be bigger on this. It feels a little tight. That would look better. I didn't know. It's interesting that the line height that the text XL overrides the line height, which maybe they know better than I do. Certainly possible, but it just felt a little. Anyway, like where I'm getting down to like nitpickier stuff, which is a good thing. So that means we're making lots of good progress with more stuff to do down here. Cool. So I still need to come back and kind of refactor this. Personal updates, recent content, general. Doesn't matter what order you have the classes in. I've learned that I don't. Well, it may. I don't think so because I actually got really confused by this at one point because I thought it did, but the problem is it's not necessarily the order that they're in here. It's the order of the generated CSS, and I don't know if the order here impacts the order of the generated CSS. Is the problem? So that's the thing that I don't actually know. But what we were looking at is where were we? We're looking at the the description text. So this thing. So if we were to move this after, looks like still no because it's being overridden by the text XL. So it just so happens that the generated CSS overrides, which is interesting because I feel like you don't have as much control over the generated CSS to know what's going to override what. Interesting. Anyway, what's up, Richard? Um, Aaron on Twitch. What's up? Thanks for being here. Cool. So that feels pretty good. Now the other thing is to do this one. She put in these things that I like don't have, so I'm not kind of actually like still kind of like my footer. Anyway, I wonder if I may do another one of these. Oh, that doesn't look nice. I don't love that. Can you tell when prettier plugin to sort classes automatically? Yeah, I've used that before, I believe. Or I've had it in here before. Why does this have this extra gap down here? Why does this blue? Oh, also, I'm not 100% sure that these wrap very well. I'd say that works pretty well. At a certain point, like probably centering the text would make sense, but I think that still looks good. Tailwind's been on your list of things to learn for a while. I love it. I mean, you'll obviously hear mixed feedback about how much people love it. For me, it's been great, so I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. Why? I feel like I have more space in here than I need to, though. P20. Not sure. I probably don't need P20. Should really be PX20, and then we should have hero PX20, and then we should have D20. Move that down from there. We have this. Scroll down. Dip, 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 dip. And then I still probably want bigger MT20. A little bit bigger there. So I just looked up Astro for the first time. It says it integrates with other frameworks like Vue and React. So is it a framework, front end framework itself? Depending on what like language you use, I'm not sure what the actual appropriate way to answer that is. I call it a framework just for lack of like being super specific. But you can use React, Vue, Svelte inside of Astro, which is really really neat. But Astro has like built-in support for Markdown and code highlighting, and it's really easy to add image optimization and MDX if you want to. So it has a bunch of stuff that is just really nice for building a site. So I'm like a huge fan. Obviously, is kind of why I'm doing this, rebuilding my site with it. Already have rebuilt my site, but now doing a redesign of my existing Astro site. So you could kind of call it different things, and people could argue about it. But at the end of the day, I think it's like I consider it. I use it like a framework, if that makes sense. So Blad is asking, using is it okay to use arbitrary values all over the project? Arbitrary like classes, Tailwind classes. To your point, I should probably standardize this a little bit into some shared components. So I think that's definitely some refactoring that I should do if that's what you're getting at. Aaron, do you have a tutorial about writing API services most effective way? Love to see one. Everybody knows how to fetch, but no one shows how to make it the best way. Interesting. If you have like specific questions on like what you'd like to see, I'd love to hear those details of what you think is missing from tutorials out there. Then maybe I can help fill that gap. Andre, you started exploring Tailwind and Post CSS. Been doing it manually for a while. Yeah, fair enough. Cool. I think like this is there's definitely still some things to change, but I've gotten through a lot of this, which is really great. And I'll continue to be working on this. My goal is to not have a typo in here. So that's one goal uh, that I would like to meet inside the YouTube part. I think developers welcome to opening Discord community of web developers, and we're at weekly YouTube videos. So anyway, I'm going to continue to work on this, hoping to ship this sometime soon. I will be doing some stuff with Astro 2.0. If you check it out in the meantime, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear. If you are interested and you haven't already, please consider joining here. Oh my gosh, Zath is wild. I can't tell you how many times, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So correct me in the chat if you can. Zath or Zoth, I'm not sure. So correct me. Anyway, Zath on YouTube is commenting that you're the person from Berlin, Germany, the dude who recognized me randomly while selling tour bus tickets. Super cool to see you again. I actually was thinking, like, right after that happened, we should have taken a picture, like followed you on Twitter or something. So it's really cool to see you here. I've told that story like many, many times. So I thought that was so cool for people. Really quickly, I was in Berlin with my wife and her team at Aussiro. A teammate of hers and myself were walking around, or not London, Berlin. And anyway, like just on the street, we walked up to Zath to buy tickets for the bus, and he was like, "Oh, dude, do you do YouTube?" And this has been like kind of for an ego thing, like a dream of mine of like someone in a non-tech context recognizing me. And he was like, "Do you do YouTube?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I've been looking for jobs and like watch your content, which is amazing." And Zath just said that he found a job as a full stack dev. That's absolutely incredible. That's so cool. Where do I have my sound effects set up? I think claps coming through, hopefully. That's amazing. That's so exciting. That's like the highlight of my day, week, year is to hear people that are positively impacted by the content that I create. So not only was that like a cool story selfishly to be recognized and feel like I'm cool, but also most importantly to hear that that actually had an impact on your career. So that's amazing. Congratulations on that. Super, super big congratulations. Oh, Kelvin, somebody was asking about arbitrary values with Tailwind. Yes, you can do the arbitrary values in the bracket syntax. I doubt it has any sort of significant um, negative impact. So yeah, especially in a site like this. Heather, what's up? Heather, if I don't know if you've done yoga sessions more, but I haven't checked in and I need to, and I would love to join them. So hopefully I'll catch one of those soon. But thanks for checking in. And Zath said 1,200 job applications, 5 years of starting to code. Wow, that's wild. Serious congratulations. That's like so amazing. I'm gonna give one last shout out in case people haven't joined. Learn, Build, Teach Discord, great place to learn, build, and teach. Share the stuff that you're working on, ask questions, etc. I'm doing like live sessions in there now. Want to do more and more stuff in Discord. So if you haven't already checked it out, go and check it out at learnbuildteach.com. Heather, yoga soon. Haven't happened yet. Cool. I'll try to keep an eye out. If you remember to send me a message and remind me, please do, because I definitely want to catch up. I realized one thing really quickly. I missed. Did I make this up? Was there a message like in German that I forgot to respond to? I could have sworn there was, but now I don't see it. And if it was whoever's message that was, I feel like there was a message like in complete German. Am I making stuff up? Um, where was that message? I saw Christian. I assume like I can't pronounce that. Gluckwunsch is like congratulations. I assume. Yeah. Anyway, if there was a message in German that I forgot to respond to, I apologize. Zath. Yeah. So you can join the Discord if you want to. Feel free to send me email at my email address as well if you're interested. Means congrats. Danke dir is thank you. Danke schön. Bitte, you can say is you're welcome, I think. Anyway, all right. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna go get I say lunch, like very late lunch with my wife. I'm gonna go hang out with her for a little bit. Really enjoyed everybody being here. I'll be doing more of this week, so keep an eye out. Join me again. Check out the Learn Build Teach Discord if you're interested in hanging out there. We do our wins of the week sessions on Friday. So if you have cool stuff that you've done that you want to share, please come and join and tell everybody about it and brag about yourself because most of us don't do that enough. Anyway, thanks again, everyone. I will catch you later. See ya.